Hi guys, it's Ameriie. It's been a long time, but I'm back with some April favorites. Now the reason why I don't do monthly favorites every single month is because sometimes I just don't really have that many favorites. There are things that I come across that are good, but they might not necessarily be amazing where I feel like I need to share it with you. In case you're wondering why there isn't a monthly favorites every single month, that's why. I think I've got some good stuff here. I have a couple of books, have some great beauty products, some TV I've been loving, and a great foodie find. Let's get started. If you watched my recent New York Times by the Book Tag video, I talked about this. I was in the middle of reading it. Love this book. The Six of Crows is by Leigh Bardugo. She also wrote the Grisha trilogy. It's essentially a high fantasy that takes place in a Russian-esque high fantasy world. To me, it's very Ocean's 11 meets Peaky Blinders. I love both of those things, especially Peaky Blinders, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't know why it still isn't out on Netflix. Like, can we get that going, please? 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. The main characters aren't chosen ones. They aren't kings, queens, royalty, or part of the aristocracy. They're just people trying to make it and get things done in a world where magic can enhance your life for the better or corrupt you completely. This is so fast-paced. I was not bored for 1 single second, and I loved the characters. I love what was happening. Like, I could not put the book down, and it's gorgeous. If you love the idea of reading a fantasy but don't want to get bogged down in something that's slow, this is very rich and also super fast. In September, Crooked Kingdoms, the second and final book, comes out, and I can't wait. Books of Blood by Clive Barker. This short story collection is super gory, super brutal, very detailed, but has a lot of heart. It's not just about the gore, it's not about the cheap thrills. Each story left me thinking for a long time. It's actually taken me 2 years to read this book because I would just dip in and out of it. Like, read 1 story and then I may not come back to it for a while and then read 2 in a row. But it's so gory, I couldn't take more than 2 stories at a time. Sometimes even just 1 was enough. Because Clive Barker does not shy away from being extremely detailed when it comes to blood and gore. If you aren't already familiar with who he is, he's the one who wrote Hellraiser. I don't know if he wrote the screenplay, but the movie and the character, those are his characters. And you know, the one with Pinhead, the one with all the pins. So he is a master of horror. But when you're reading about blood and it's getting detailed about the guts and the intestines, and it's just like, I mean, part of me is wondering, do we really need to see that? And then another part of me feels, yes, we do need to see that. Because I don't love how sometimes you'll read a super violent book, but it's like cartoon violence or video game violence. Well, video games these days can be pretty bloody, so I should say cartoon violence. You don't really feel the violence. It's just like, oh, cool, yeah, the gun. It's not until you see what a weapon can do that you feel how tragic and how horrible death is and violence, like deadly violence. But he doesn't shy away from any of that. He's very truthful in his depiction of violence and his depiction of people and their relationships. It's just a fantastic short story collection. So this is a teeny tiny sample of Ameriie Pacific's Moisture Bound. I don't have this actual product because I've been using the sample. Now the reason why I have this sample is because I needed something more moisturizing. The SOS Thirst Quench is still a holy grail, but my skin was going through something where it's just especially dry, drier than normal. So I've been using the Dr. Jart Moisture Mask occasionally, some different beauty masks that I picked up in Korea when my mother and sister and I went beauty shopping in Korea, and those have been working great. But when it gets to the point where I feel like I have to do like an intensive thing every other day, then I know my skin is just parched for whatever reason. And I've been drinking lots of water. Anyhow, long story short, I was like, I need a stronger moisturizer for right now, for these times. And that's when I started using these samples. I've been so big on samples the last couple of years because before I would just buy a product, use a little of it, and then when it didn't work, I would just, you know, give it away, or it would just sit in my cabinet forever because I would get so excited by just trying something and I would have so much hope that it would work. Anyhow, I learned my lesson when I saw all the unused product that I had. It was just such a waste. So I've been big on samples and I love this. I noticed the difference right away that first day after the first application. Sorry, my button keeps hitting the desk. Sorry, maybe that'll, no, that's not helping. Okay, I'm gonna try to not hit the desk with my sleeve. Okay, now it's crooked. I can't deal with that. I can't deal. We need order. Okay. So, love it. I have 1 sample left. Definitely going to be picking this up. This is going to be my moisturizer until the summertime when I don't need such an intensive moisturizer. Boscia's Luminizing Black Mask. This is fantastic. It's still in the box because I still have 1 sample left. I love this mask. Especially, I'll take it out the box. I especially love this mask after using like a scrub. So if you use one of those scrubs, remember my Where Is Pore? So it's like a scrub, it kind of like clears your pores out. It works twofold. It has charcoal in one mask, and then you unscrew the other one, and after you finish the first mask, you use the second one, which is the clay mask. Caolion, C-A-O-L-I-O-N. Anyhow, so I'll use that first. When I'm using it in conjunction with this mask, I don't bother with the clay mask second. I just use the first charcoal mask in certain areas, where it's because it has light scrub. Very light with it, use it in my T-zone for the most part, and then after I'm finished with that, rinsing it off, patting it dry a little, I'll spray a little grape water mist on my face, and then I will put on this mask. And that's been what I've been doing with this product. I love it so much. Remember those Biore strips back in the day? This kind of works like that, but for your entire face. Be careful around the eye area though, because it's pretty strong, so you don't really want to pull that area too much. Put a generous amount on, and then when it's time to peel, you like go on the edges, and then it comes off like a rubber mask. Love this mask. My sister swears by it, which is why I tried the samples, and I love it too, and now it's on. So I'm gonna put it back in the packaging for now, because it feels like really new. You know when you have a product and you don't get to it yet because you still have a little bit left in your other bottle or tube or whatever it comes in, so like you save it for like when it's time to pop the top off the new one. I don't know, it's just a personal thing. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, but so far I really like this brand too. Bosha's a Korean brand, as is Ameriie Pacific. They're also Korean. And I forgot to mention, I'm happy that this Ameriie Pacific worked out for me, because I tried another one of their products a long time ago. This would be one of those products where I said I tried a product, bought it instead of using a sample, and then ended up not using it because it wasn't working. And it was a moisturizer, but I didn't find it was very moisturizing at all. So I used like 3 pumps of it. I used it for a couple of days and it just was not working for me at all. So when the sales lady suggested this to me, I told her right away. I was like, oh, Ameriie Pacific, I've tried that before and it did not work for me. And she was like, no, this one is incredible. It's moisturizing, it's not greasy, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, give me a few samples. I'll give it a try. Love it. Love it, love it. A TV show that I've been enjoying these days, The Good Wife. I always wanted to check out The Good Wife, but I wasn't really sure because I'm funny with network TV. I really love when you can push boundaries, get edgy, get real, try new things, and I'm really picky about writing, and I feel like a lot of great television is on cable television, meaning HBO, AMC, Netflix. So when there's a show that's on network TV, I'm very skeptical. And the first couple of seasons of The Good Wife did not dissuade me from that belief. You're probably wondering, why was I watching for 2 seasons? It's because I was trying to give it a chance. I was waiting for Downton Abbey, waiting for Peaky Blinders. I was waiting for something. You know when you're in between shows, so you start giving other things a chance? That's what was happening. But the first 6 episodes of The Good Wife, the stories were so simple and so straightforward. I was literally watching, I was like, okay, so it's the mom, it's the sister, but it's gonna be a twist. It was so simple, and I'm not liking this. But then the stories began to be a lot more complex. The crimes weren't so easy to solve. There weren't happy endings. All of the episodes weren't wrapped up in a happy bow. Sometimes someone got off that you didn't want to get off, because the story was being very realistic regarding what happens sometimes in the justice system. And the character dynamics were becoming more complex and more interesting. Sometimes things would go a little strange and go a little left, but I'm still watching and I'm enjoying it. And I don't know what season I'm on now, but I'm several seasons in and I'm enjoying it. And now I'm saving the best for last. Kat's gluten-free powdered donuts. Yes, I meant to tell you about this before, but it was a month where it would have been like my only favorite. So I was like, I'm not gonna make this a video of donuts, although they have several great flavors, so it could have just been a great donut video. I have to keep this quick because these are meant to stay in the freezer. Okay, so you may or may not know, I am gluten-free. I have to stay gluten-free. I don't necessarily have celiac disease, but I've been tested and the doctor was like, it's kind of inconclusive because I have whatever it is that people who have celiac disease have, but there are also people who don't have celiac disease who have the same thing. So he was like, that is just basically a question mark, but judging my symptoms, it seems like I have a gluten sensitivity. One of the things that was making it so hard for me to be gluten-free is that my favorite foods tend to have bread. I love pizza, I love pasta, and I love donuts. And it seemed like I love donuts even more after I couldn't have them. Like, I love Krispy Kreme's glazed donuts. I love the powdered donuts. And I was like, I saw some Entenmann's donuts and I think I just want to just eat some. I don't care. I don't even care. I didn't do it. I didn't mess up. I stayed strong, but I was pretty cranky. And for the record, there still isn't an amazing pizza. I've tried so many pizzas. Yeah, that's hard. So these are great donuts. These powdered donuts, I was like, these taste like real powdered donuts. This brand is so good. I had to tell this woman on an airplane because she said that her daughter was gluten-free. So I'm gonna have to put these down now because these are supposed to be in the freezer and they thaw out pretty quickly. If you have a convection oven, you can put it like on warm at 120 for maybe like 15 minutes to 20 minutes. But this is best thawed out on its own. You can do it with the other flavors like pumpkin spice or glazed or whatever. But this, you should thaw out at room temperature, just sitting it out because the powdery things change. Not good. So those were the things I was loving on this month. I don't know when I'll do a next favorites. When I have a bunch of favorites, I'll let you know. Please talk to me in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Please share the video and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye! I am putting together an anthology called Because You Love to Hate Me. It is a YA villain-themed anthology published by Bloomsbury, who publishes Harry Potter. Don't even get me started on how I think that's so cool. And it is going to be published spring 2017, and I'm so incredibly excited. 13 booktubers with 13 critically acclaimed best-selling authors. Writing prompt style. I am also contributing a short story, so super excited about that. There are plenty of amazing people involved, so I'm going to go down the list. On the author side, we have Ameriie, that would be me, Renee Audier, Soman Gianani, Susan Dennard, Sarah Ennie, Marissa Meyer, Cindy Pond, Victoria Schwab, Samantha Shannon, Adam Silvera, Andrew Smith, April Genevieve Tuhulk, and Nicola Yoon. And on the booktube side, Benjamin Alderson of Benjamin of Tomes, Sasha Alsberg of A Book Utopia, Whitney Atkinson of Witty Novels, Christina of Christina Reads YA and the Lushables channel, Katrina of A Little Book Owl, Jessie George of Jessie the Reader, Zoe Hurt of Read by Zoe, Samantha Lane of Thoughts on Tomes, Sophia Lee of The Book Basement, Raylene LeMay of Padfoot and Prongs 07, Reagan Peruse of Peruse Project, Christine Riccio of Polar Bananas Books, Steph Sinclair and Kat Kennedy of the Cuddle Buggery blog and channel. So I just wanted to share that news with you all. You already know that I write fiction, and this short story will be my first published work, so yay! Definitely stay tuned to find out which author is paired with which booktuber and what the prompts are going to be and the villains chosen. So that is my announcement. Yay!